Hello, my family here, and welcome back to session 2 of the 6-week group program on understanding your anxiety. I'd love to hear how the previous week has gone for all of you. Let me know in the comments, how the last week's been for you, and if you've noticed anything shift in the last week for you since you've had a bit more understanding about, what exactly is causing your anxiety, and if you've been able to become a bit more aware of it, or whether you've done a bit more journaling, or just let me know what has come up for you in the past week since session 1. I would love to hear, so we can communicate and chat all about that. And thank you all so much for joining live or replay, but of course I really think it's more beneficial if you join live, because that way you can ask questions on the live and I can reply to them straight away. And today is all about how you'd rather your life be, and how to start taking control of your life again. But just to recap, session 1 was where we got clear on exactly what anxiety is, how it shows up in your life, how a little bit of anxiety is normal, but not when it's every day, the different types of anxiety. And we really dug deep on the topic of different types of anxiety, how anxiety is showing up in your life, and what you can start doing to kind of take a little bit more control of your life rather than anxiety taking control of you. And I hope you all have your workbooks ready, because there are spaces in the workbooks to answer the questions that I ask. So I'll just put that link in there to be sure. So you can click on the link there if you need it. My hair's already annoying me when I wear it down, it does. So now let's talk about how anxiety plays out in your life and how to create the life that you want. And we talked about, how anxiety plays out in your life and how it's, dictating the life that you're currently living. And we talked about what actions and behaviors is your anxiety causing you to do as well. And today we're talking about how you'd rather your life to be and how to start taking control of your life. So how would you rather your life play out? Really just take a moment to think about that. How would you rather your life play out? And in the workbook on page 8, there is a space to answer these questions of how would you rather your life play out and how would you rather your days go? I'd love for you to jot down in the comments as well, how would you rather your day go? How would you rather your days go and your life play out? Let me know in the comments. And if you were living your ideal day, what would you see, hear, and feel? What would you be doing? And how would you be presenting yourself? Really ask yourself those questions. And that's on the next page, page 9 in the workbook. And if you were showing up as your ideal self and you were seeing what you want to see, feeling what you want to feel, hearing what you want to hear, and presenting yourself the way you want to present yourself, what would be your behaviors and actions? Because I can imagine your behaviors and actions then would be very different to what maybe they currently are when you're stuck in that chronic anxiety, when you're stuck in that social anxiety, when you're stuck in those negative thoughts and spirals. Hello. It's not letting me know who is watching, so thanks for tuning in. So I'm not sure if you have your workbook when you download it, but you can either jot down the questions in there or just in the comments. So I just want you to ask yourself, you know, if you were living your ideal life, what would you be seeing, hearing, and feeling? And when you're living as your ideal self, what would be your actions and behaviors? For example, when I was living in chronic stress and anxiety, obviously that's not how I wanted my life to play out. I didn't want to, you know, be stuck worrying about my health every day, like 24/7, you know, pretty much living at the doctors, you know, coming across aggressive to everyone, never being present in the moment, not having any friends, going to work and racing through the shift, trying to make sure I finish in time, being in control of everything, and, you know, so much more. Like, I didn't want my life to continue to play out like that. How I would rather my life play out is like how it is now, basically, where, you know, I've gotten the support to heal my anxiety. And not only have I healed my anxiety with the support that I got, I also realized what I needed and what I didn't get. So I also found a way to get what I also needed, but I didn't originally have, right? So when I first saw the life coach, I mainly got subconscious mind work. But I realized that that wasn't enough. So I played my life out by making sure I got the support that I needed. The support with body connections and habits and regulating my nervous system as well. And when I got all of that support, my life started to play out how it was now. You know, better friendships, being able to chase my dreams, no longer being in control of everyday situation, having a relaxed and calm nervous system. Like, my body used to be constantly tense because of the stress and anxiety. Like, my stomach was like this. And now it's like always so relaxed and calm. So, you know, back then I would rather my belly be calm like it is now. I'd rather have friends like I do now. I'd rather have more of a balanced lifestyle, which I do, being able to make time for myself and, you know, not feel guilty about it. Actually being able to, you know, spend money, to make money as well, to actually be able to do morning ritual routines instead of thinking I have to get up straight away and go to the gym and work on my body and my posture, being able to eat a balanced diet, being able to go on road trips and go to places on my own rather than having to need someone with me, rather than staying at home, you know, overthinking everything, worrying about everything. That's what I used to do in my life. Is no longer like that. I'm no longer worrying about everything. I'm no longer overthinking things. I'm going out. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm making friends. I'm following my dreams. Now having the beliefs that I am smart, that I am beautiful, that I am unstoppable, that I am worthy, that I am good enough. And I never used to have any of those beliefs. So I really love you to check in with yourself and let me know. Does this resonate with you? Where are you? Where would you like your life to be? Would you like it to be similar to where mine is now? Where you feel at peace, where you feel happy, where your body isn't constantly tensed up like this, where you can actually go out, whether with a friend or on your own, and enjoy your own company or enjoy your own friends' company, without, you know, worrying about who's around you, what other people think. Because social anxiety, it's not just about, you know, going out with people or within groups. It can also stop you from going out alone because you're scared of what other people will think when they see you out alone. So it's so important to know exactly where you are, which we kind of touched on in session 1, knowing what type of anxiety you have and, you know, how it's playing out in your life and what kind of sensations and feelings and thoughts resonate with you. And in this session, we're kind of getting a plan on, you know, where you want to be. So where exactly do you want to be? What would your ideal life and day look like? Really tune into this and think about this and allow yourself to think about it. All of the time we don't even allow ourselves to think about this or picture this because it just seems impossible. It's truly not. Like where I am now, I didn't think was possible, but it was possible. So now I use that and I feel into those feelings of where I am now being possible when I didn't think it was possible to help me take that next leap to where I want to get to next, despite it feeling impossible. Because no matter how successful you are in this world, like even the really, really successful people have doubts at times, have fears at times. So it's not that you'll never have doubts, you'll never have fears, they're always going to be there, but it's just about being able to push through those fears and coming back to the feelings of what you already have and what you've already been able to achieve and feeling into that whatever you want is possible and showing up as that person so you can start to create it essentially. So what comes up for you about where you'd rather your life to be, how you'd rather your days go? What would you like to do for work? What time would you like to get up? What would you like to eat for breakfast? Would you like to exercise? Would you exercise in the morning? Would you exercise at night? What would you spend your days doing? Would you have a bit of structure or would it just be going with the flow and listening to your intuition? Where would you live? What would you be seeing in your house and seeing around your space? What would you be hearing? How would you be presenting yourself? Would you be standing up or sitting up nice and straight and have a smile, or would you be hunched over and upset? Really ask yourself these questions. So if you could explain like your current day and where you currently are, what would a current regular day look like for you? Like what time would you get up? Would you eat breakfast? What would you eat? You know, what would be your thoughts when you first wake up in the morning? Change all starts with first having that awareness. So write down what your current days look like. And then see if you can notice the difference between what your current days look like and what we just mentioned that you want. What we just mentioned of what you would be seeing, what you'd be feeling, what you'd be hearing. How would you be presenting yourself? in your ideal version of your days? What would be your behaviors and what would be your actions? And if you can write down, you know, where you are and then where you want to be, you'll start to have a bit more of that awareness. And then once you've got that awareness between where you want to be, where you currently are to where you want to be, then that's where you'll be able to start setting goals to bring you closer to where you want to be and further away from where you currently are. And that's what we're going to do next session. Next session, we're going to go into goal setting. And I'd love for you to let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway is from today. Maybe it's that the person you want to be, you're showing up the complete opposite to that person. Maybe that's one of your takeaways. So how can you start showing up as that person? So say you want to be able to go with the flow, but your anxiety is currently making you control everything. Maybe your takeaway could be loosening that control a little bit. So how can you loosen that control a little bit this week? What is something you can do this week to start showing up as that next version of you? So if you look at where you currently are to where you want to be, what's the difference between those two? And what's a step you can take to bring you closer to that ideal version of you? So it could, be loosening that control. It could be getting up earlier. It could be working out more. It could be every time a certain thought comes up that's not serving you, like an anxious thought, could be changing that to a positive one. So I'd love you to really dive deep and think about this, because the more you think about this, the more you write down, the more you implement and take action on, the more you're going to get out of it. So it's so important to not just listen to this, but to actually implement and take action. And that's what I'm here for. So if you have any questions, and this is free support, right? So why not get as much out of it as you possibly can? Because my belief is you signed up for this, right? Because anxiety is controlling your life. And as we noticed in day one, like anxiety is controlling a lot of your life and impacting you in many, many ways. And it's been this way for a lot of you for a very long time. So are you ready to make a change? I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's hard. I know it's a lot of work. But that's why this program is designed to help you and to help you start small. But you still need to put in a bit of work, even when starting small. So have a go, journal these questions, let me know your key takeaways, and let me know what's one small thing that you can do this week to start working towards becoming your higher self. Like, for example, one thing that I do is to become my highest self is sometimes I still get into the habit of leaving to go to places a little bit later than I should. So then sometimes, I feel a bit rushed to drive certain places. So my one way is I could leave earlier to give myself more time so I don't, feel rushed when driving places. And so I don't have to, try and change lanes when driving everywhere to try and be in the fastest lane to get there as quickly as possible, because I would have left early enough so I would have had plenty of time. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I'd love to hear your takeaways in the comments and what you're going to implement. And I will see you next Tuesday for next Tuesday's live. Bye.